Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely fascinating intersection of ideas. We're going to look at exactly how ancient cosmic wisdom can actually guide your most difficult modern-day decisions. So if you've ever felt completely lost at a crossroads, you are absolutely in the right place. Let's get into it.
Look, we've all been there, right? You're completely paralyzed by a massive decision, endlessly weighing the pros and cons until your head is just spinning. But what if the answer isn't actually on a pros and cons list at all? What if the answer lies in an ancient Indian concept that links our daily, seemingly mundane choices to the vastness of the cosmos itself? I know, it sounds like a massive leap, but by the end of this explainer, you're going to see just how incredibly practical this really is.
Section 1. The true meaning of Dharma.
Okay, to really understand this, we first have to unpack a pretty widely misunderstood term. Far from just meaning religion or a strict set of rules, actually, scratch that, it's way bigger than that. The word dharma comes from the Sanskrit root dri, which literally means to uphold or hold together. Think of it as the universal moral order that sustains reality itself. It acts as the very foundation for law, justice, and righteous conduct. Without it, well, things simply fall apart.
Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, the first Vice President of India, hit the nail on the head here. He pointed out that Dharma is the ultimate sovereign. It governs absolutely everything. We're talking from our quiet, everyday personal duties all the way up to the massive, highly consequential actions of political rulers. Literally no one is above it.
Section 2. Jupiter, the cosmic teacher.
So, where exactly do we look to understand this grand universal order? Well, in Vedic astrology, it's directly mirrored by Jupiter. And Jupiter isn't just a giant gas planet. Here, it's revered as the Dev Guru, the divine teacher. It's the indicator, or karaka, for D, which translates to supreme intelligence. And to be clear, this isn't just about being book smart. We're talking about that profound spiritual intelligence that separates true, purposeful wisdom from our basic animalistic survival instincts.
And Jupiter's cosmic portfolio is just wonderfully vast. It acts as the solar system's ultimate mentor, governing stuff like justice, law, philosophy, and, yep, wealth and gold. But here's where it gets really interesting. In Vedic astrology, it also governs parts of your physical body, specifically the thighs, the right ear, and your liver. It's this beautifully holistic system where a planet representing supreme optimism and forgiveness literally also governs how our physical body processes and digests life. Wild, right?
Section 3. The ninth house of Dharma.
So how does this giant planet actually influence your specific life path? Well, in astrological charts, this cosmic mentor feels most at home in the ninth house, which literally represents Dharma itself. It governs higher knowledge, ethics, long journeys, and how we relate to our mentors. When Jupiter's energy sits right here, it actively pushes you outward toward higher truths. It creates this space where fleeting, selfish desires kind of have to step aside for a profound sense of universal duty. It's basically the universe tapping you on the shoulder and asking you to step up.
Section 4. Justice and the Gita.
How does this lofty cosmic justice actually play out in the messy, chaotic reality of human conflict? Honestly, there's no better illustration of this than the ancient text, the Bhagavad Gita. It perfectly captures this exact struggle through the warrior Arjuna. He's standing on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and he is just completely paralyzed. He's agonizingly torn between his dharma, his duty as a warrior, and his deep, profound love for his family members who are literally standing on the opposing side. Talk about the ultimate stuck decision.
In this moment of total paralysis, his charioteer, who happens to be the deity Lord Krishna, gives him some incredible advice. Krishna guides Arjuna to look right past his immediate, crippling anxieties. He tells him to align with a higher, supreme justice. And this perfectly highlights that incredible tension between endlessly worrying about earthly consequences and simply taking righteous action just because it's the right thing to do.
And hey, this isn't just some ancient religious debate either. Modern philosophers, like the Nobel laureate Amartya Sen, have analyzed this exact dialogue in works like The Idea of Justice. Sen uses this to contrast two massive ways of thinking. See, Arjuna represents our deep human sensitivity to consequences, basically stressing over the fallout. Krishna, on the other hand, represents a strict cosmic adherence to deontology. That's the philosophy of duty, doing what is right regardless of the immediate mess it might make.
Section 5. Ego versus soul.
So how do we apply all of this to our own lives? When you're stuck on your own battlefield of tough choices, you essentially have to decide which voice in your head to listen to. And let's be real, the ego is loud. It screams for immediate action. It's that impulsive voice telling you to fire off that angry text right now or hit purchase on that ridiculous 2 a.m. online shopping cart. But your soul is patient. It trusts in divine timing, and it knows for sure that true, meaningful growth does not need to be rushed.
Furthermore, your ego is incredibly compulsive. It's just endlessly chasing the next status symbol, the next promotion, the next shiny thing, and yet it is never, ever truly satisfied. The soul, however, is deliberate. It's intentional. The soul finds its fulfillment purely in the journey and the process itself, not just crossing an arbitrary finish line.
You really have to ask yourself, where is your decision coming from right now? Decisions made from a place of fear or this nagging feeling that there isn't enough to go around? Those are driven entirely by the ego. But the soul, it speaks from a quiet, deeply resilient place of absolute abundance and confidence. It inherently knows there is enough.
And finally, the ego is just so judgmental. It looks at literally every situation and person and immediately asks, okay, what's in it for me? Meanwhile, the soul loves without logic. It's all-accepting and constantly seeks the highest good for absolutely everyone involved, completely stripping away that transactional nature of the ego.
Section 6. Walking your Dharmic path.
Now, it's really important to say we all have an ego. And honestly, it's useful. It keeps us safe in a dangerous physical world. But as a compass for finding your true life's purpose, it is terrible. If we want to create any kind of justice in the world, it literally has to start internally. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi demonstrated this brilliantly through Swaraja, or self-rule. True justice in society only really begins when we tune out the ego and tune into this soul-led Dharma.
So let's wrap this all up into some actual actionable steps. To align with your Dharma, practice pausing. Seriously, just wait 24 hours before acting on a huge impulse. When you work, try to focus on the integrity of your actions rather than the rewards or the shiny status symbols they might bring you. Strive to act from a place of cosmic abundance, not worldly fear. And ultimately, let that inner cosmic teacher, your own supreme intelligence, guide you toward practical wisdom and true compassion.
Which brings us to the ultimate question you really have to ask yourself. And this is the big takeaway from our explainer today. When you're faced with your very next major decision, will you surrender to the loud, demanding voice of your ego, or will you trust the quiet, cosmic patience of your soul? The choice, as always, is yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey today. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.